was one of the most mysterious figures in modern history secretly connected to Bitcoin's creator, Satoshi Nakamoto? The idea sounds like something from a movie, a dark conspiracy weaving together the creator of the world's most famous cryptocurrency and a name synonymous with international scandal. It's a theory that has circulated in the darker corners of the internet for years. But is there any truth to it? Was Jeffrey Epstein, the disgraced financier, somehow involved in the creation of Bitcoin? Today, we are going to peel back the layers of this conspiracy, examine the evidence, and uncover the truth about Bitcoin's origins. To understand this theory, we first have to go back to the beginning. Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin in 2009, releasing a white paper and the first version of the software. For 2 years, this anonymous figure guided the project's development through online forums and emails, laying the foundation for a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Then, in 2011, Satoshi vanished. Just disappeared. No one knows who they were or where they went. Since then, the hunt for Satoshi has become a global obsession, and countless names have been suggested. But one of the most controversial, and frankly shocking, suggestions is Jeffrey Epstein. So, why do people even think Epstein could be Satoshi? Where does this strange idea come from? The theory isn't based on a single piece of smoking gun evidence. Instead, it's built on a series of connections and financial moves that, when pieced together, seem to paint a curious picture. It starts with Epstein's documented, early financial exposure to the world of crypto. While the rest of the financial world was still dismissing Bitcoin as a fad for nerds and anarchists, Epstein was already putting his money into the industry's foundational companies. He was an early adopter, not as a user, but as an investor, and his timing has raised more than a few eyebrows. The question isn't just asterisk if asterisk he was involved, but asterisk how asterisk deep his connections really went. Let's look at the money trail. Public records and reports show that Epstein was a surprisingly early and significant investor in the cryptocurrency space. For example, he invested $500,000 into a company called Blockstream back in 2014. If you're not familiar with Blockstream, it's one of the most influential companies in the Bitcoin ecosystem, focused on developing the core protocol and building sidechains. An investment of that size, that early on, shows he was not just dabbling. He was making serious bets on the future of Bitcoin's infrastructure. But that's not all. It's also been reported that he invested a staggering $3 million into Coinbase, one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges, during its very early days. These weren't random, speculative punts. These were strategic investments into the bedrock companies that would go on to shape the entire crypto landscape. He was positioning himself right at the center of the emerging financial revolution. His financial involvement didn't stop with private companies. Epstein also directed his funds toward the academic heart of Bitcoinist development, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT. He donated roughly $850,000 to MIT, a significant portion of which was funneled directly into its burgeoning crypto research. Specifically, his money helped fund the MIT Digital Currency Initiative, a groundbreaking research group focused on Bitcoin and blockchain technology. At one point, when funding for Bitcoin core developers was running low, it was this very initiative, backed in part by Epstein's money, that stepped in to pay their salaries. This means his money was directly supporting the very people responsible for maintaining and upgrading Bitcoin's core code. He wasn't just an investor, he was a patron of the technology's development. The connections get even more personal. It's been revealed that Epstein exchanged emails with Peter Thiel, the billionaire co-founder of PayPal and another major early investor in the crypto space. In these emails, they discussed Bitcoin. We don't know the exact content of every conversation, but the fact that these high-level discussions were happening shows Epstein was moving in the right circles. Then came a statement that really fanned the flames of suspicion. In 2016, during a conversation, Epstein allegedly claimed that he had spoken with some of the founders of Bitcoin. Now, this is a very interesting choice of words. Bitcoin famously has only one pseudonymous founder, Satoshi Nakamoto. So who were these founders he was referring to? Was it a simple misunderstanding of how Bitcoin was created? Or was it a slip of the tongue, hinting at a hidden group of creators that he was a part of, or at least knew? That claim definitely raised eyebrows and fueled the conspiracy. But here's where the entire theory begins to crack and ultimately collapses. The timeline simply doesn't add up. Let's lay it out clearly. The Bitcoin white paper was published in October 2008. The network itself launched in January 2009. Satoshi Nakamoto was active in the community, writing code and posting on forums. until their final message in April 2011. After that, they were gone. Now, let's look at Epstein's timeline. All of his documented crypto activities, the investments in Blockstream and Coinbase, the donations to Amity, all of it happened in 2014 and later. That's a full 3 years asterisk after asterisk Satoshi had already vanished. There is no public record, no evidence whatsoever, of Epstein having any interest or involvement in Bitcoin during its crucial creation and development phase from 2008 to 2011. The dots just do and connect. The timeline problem gets even worse when you consider Epstein's legal situation during this critical period. From July 2008 to July 2009, Jeffrey Epstein was incarcerated. He was in jail. This period overlaps perfectly with the most intensive phase of Bitcoin's launch. Satoshi Nakamoto was publishing the white paper, coding the first version of the software, mining the Genesis block, and engaging with the first generation of cryptographers online. To put it bluntly, it's highly improbable, if not impossible, for someone to orchestrate the launch of a revolutionary global technology from a jail cell with limited and monitored access to the outside world. He simply wasn't free during the key development and launch periods of Bitcoin. The timing makes his involvement as Satoshi a logistical impossibility. Beyond the timeline, there's an even more fundamental problem: the technical gap. Satoshi Nakamoto's writings, the white paper, forum posts, and emails reveal a person with a profound, world-class expertise in a very specific set of fields. We're talking about advanced cryptography, distributed computer systems, C++ programming, and even economic game theory. Satoshi was, by all accounts, a technical genius who synthesized these complex disciplines in a novel way. Now, let's look at Epstein. His background was in finance and mathematics, but there is absolutely no evidence he possessed this unique, high-level skill set. His known communications, like his emails, show him speaking like a financier. He discussed investments, returns, and influence. He did not speak like a cryptographer or a software architect. The voice, the knowledge base, the entire intellectual fingerprint of Satoshi Nakamoto is completely different from that of Jeffrey Epstein. So, what about that one piece of supposed hard evidence that occasionally goes viral? I'm talking about the screenshot of an email, allegedly from 2008, that appears to show Epstein discussing a Project Bitcoin with Ghislaine Maxwell. This email has been shared countless times as the smoking gun linking him directly to the project before it was public. Well, let me be perfectly clear. That email is completely, 100% fake. Multiple fact-checking organizations and digital forensics experts have thoroughly debunked it. The formatting is inconsistent with emails from that time. The language is anachronistic, and it conveniently appeared long after the conspiracy theory had already started. It was fabricated to add fuel to the fire, but it has no basis in reality. It's a piece of digital misinformation, plain and simple. So, what's the final verdict? Was Jeffrey Epstein Satoshi Nakamoto? The answer is an unequivocal no. The probability is effectively zero. The timeline doesn't work. He was incarcerated during the most critical period, and he lacked the specific technical expertise demonstrated by Bitcoin's true creator. The theory is built on misinterpretations, coincidences, and at least one piece of outright fake evidence. What asterisk is asterisk true, however, is that he was an early and influential financial player in the Bitcoin ecosystem. He recognized its potential far sooner than most on Wall Street and used his wealth to invest in and support the industry's foundational pillars. He was closer to the early Bitcoin world than most people realized, but his role was that of a financier, not a founder. The mystery of Satoshi Nakamoto remains unsolved, but we can confidently say that Jeffrey Epstein is not the answer. Thank you for joining us on this investigation. The search for Satoshi Nakamoto continues to be one of the most compelling mysteries of our time. If you found this deep dive interesting, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content that explores the hidden stories behind technology and finance. We'll see you in the next one.